So good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Good afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, have you done the homework about the indiscrete T-space? I told you to find out the set of limit points for any subset E of a indiscrete T-space. Yes, what is the answer for discrete T-space? I have given you what is a set of limit points for the discrete T-space. If you have any subset E of the X where X2 is a discrete T-space and D of E is a empty set. Yes, are you knowing the answer? सॉल्व केलेत का? हॅलो.
मॅम डिस्क्रिटसाठी लिमिट एक्झिस्ट होत नाही, म्हणजे लिमिट येत नाही.
नाही होत. म्हणजे इनडिस्क्रीट टी स्पेसला पण डिराइव्ह सेट ऑफ टी झिरोच येतो का? एम्प्टी सेट येतो का? Okay, let me take this example. What is given is equals to pi and x. We are discussing about indiscrete T space, and in that case, we have subset E of x. We have to find out what is derived set of E. Okay. So for that, first we will start with what we will start with. That x belongs to capital X, be any point, and we have to prove this small x is a limit point of E or not. Okay. So for that, if as we are not knowing what is x, right, and what is E, right, up to now the examples that we have solved before discrete T space, we were knowing what is E, what is x, then we are able to find out the answer, right? For x equal to A, for x equal to B, for x equal to C, we have verified the result. Okay. But in case of discrete T space also we are not knowing what is x and what is E. Here also it is simply given that it is a indiscrete T space. So that's why what we have to do, let us assume that x be any limit pointer, right? Let x belongs to capital X be a limit pointer of E. Okay, so what do you mean by limit point? By definition, what is a limit point? G intersection E minus singleton x is not equal to 5. Okay. Now, what is given to us for all x? We have to verify this condition for all g belongs to tau, x belongs to g. That is, for all the open sets containing x. Right? We have to prove the result for all the open sets containing x. So, how to prove this result? How many open sets we have which contain small x?
Only one set,
Okay, before
capital
that,
X.
how many
Phi
open
and
sets we have?
only Phi
How
and
many open
X
sets?
singleton X.
Okay, phi and x are only two sets, and out of them, only one set is that which contains the point x. So instead of G, we have to write down capital X intersection with E. E is also not known to us, is not equal to phi. As we are not knowing, that's why we have assumed that let small x be a limit point. And if it is not a limit point, somewhere we will get a contradiction, just like in the case of a discrete T space. We have x intersection E. Now, as we are provided that E is a subset of x, what is the intersection of set with its subset? E itself. E minus singleton x is not equal to phi, right? Up to now we understand this. Now what we can see about the thing which we have, okay? Because everything is depending upon this cardinality of E, right? So if this capital E contains x, okay, suppose we will go for the two things. If this capital E contains x, and if suppose capital E is singleton x itself. So what is the result? Singleton x minus singleton x is a empty set, right? Or in another way, if we have suppose singleton E is having a cardinality greater than or equal to 2, or in another case, if singleton E has a cardinality equal to 1 which is not equal to x. So in this case, we are having different possibilities, okay? So we can write for indiscrete T space, we can write up to this only. Because unless and until we are not knowing what is the cardinality of E, we cannot write down anything. But here we can work for this one. If suppose cardinality of E is greater than or equal to 2, then it will be a limit point, right? If we are having more than 2 or more than 2 element, after having an intersection with x complement, it is non-empty. So in this case, I can say that if cardinality of E is greater than or equal to 2, then we can say that x belongs to capital X, then every point of x is a limit point, and hence we can say derived set of E is equal to capital X. But in case 2, what is a case 2? If suppose cardinality of E is equal to 1, okay, if cardinality of E is equals to 1, and that one may be small x itself, or it may not be small x itself, right? So if it is equal to x itself, so the resultant is what we get, the intersection is empty set, and hence it is not a limit point. And if this whatever capital E is there, if it is other than small x, okay, E मध्ये other than small x म्हणून कुठला तरी दुसरा element असेल तर what we will get the intersection is non-empty. Are you getting the result?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have to discuss the possibilities in case of indiscrete D space. But in case of indiscrete D space, if we are considering the capital E, the cardinality of capital E is greater than or equal to 2, then we can say that derived set of E is equal to capital X itself. Then we can say that the E is a dense in X. Okay, E is dense in X. And if suppose cardinality of E is equals to 1, or in that case also we have to discuss the case that one element may be x itself, or it is some another element, because x we have selected to be any arbitrary element, okay? If we have selected x to be any arbitrary element, that's why we have to go for the cases, right? So here we can write up to this only, that if cardinality of E is greater than or equal to 2, then derived set of E is equal to x. But if cardinality of E is equals to 1, then we have to discuss the cases. Okay? Have you understood the case?
मॅम कार्डिनॅलिटी ग्रेटर दॅन ऑर इक्वल टू 2 असेल तर डेन्स सेटच येतो का?
Derived set of E काय येणार आहे? Capital X, and we can say that E is dense in X. बरोबर ना? Cardinality of E जर greater than 2 असेल तर काय होणार आहे रिझल्टंट? सपोज इट इज 1 2, ओके, 1 2 intersection with one element, okay, one element its complement, so we can get the resultant is non-empty. Non-empty असेल तर काय बनू शकतो? We have started with singleton. This small x is a member of X, and we have written the small x as a limit point of E, and this small x we have selected to be any element, and we have proved that any element is a limit point, and hence For cardinality of E, if it is greater than or equal to 2, we can say that the every point of a capital X is a limit point of E. And hence we can say that derived set of E is a capital X. Why I am writing capital X? We have selected X from capital X. Hey, X particular element navta na, it is any arbitrary element of X. And hence we can say that in case of E greater than or equal to 2, cardinality of E, if it is greater than or equal to 2, then E is dense in capital X. But for E equal to 1, we have to discuss the cases. Have you understood up to this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt? Any other student? Okay, if you are not having a doubt, let us go for the properties of the derived set. Okay, we have seen the definition of a derived set. What is a derived set? Let X2 be a T space. Let E be the any subset of X. Then derived set of E is nothing but set of all limit points of capital E. Okay, how to find out the limit point? We know the definition. Okay, now let us go for the properties of the derived set. First property of a derived set is derived set of empty set is empty set. Barobar? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we have to prove that. What is our aim to prove that? If A is subset of B, we have to prove that derived set of A is also subset of derived set of B. To prove this, let us start with the assumption A is a subset of B. This is given to us, correct? A is subset of B, we have to prove this one. Derived set of A is a subset of derived set of B. Okay, now let us start with the assumption. How to prove any set to be a subset of other set? We have to prove that every element of D of A is an element of D of B. Then only we can say derived set of A is a subset of derived set of B. बरोबर ना? How to prove subset? Subset म्हणजे काय असतो? This set will whatever may be the elements of D of A, it is every element of D of A is an element of D of B. बरोबर?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I can do for this, let us consider any element X. X is arbitrary element of D of A, and what I have to prove, X is element of D of B. And we have taken an arbitrary element from D of A, and if we prove that that element belongs to D of B, then result will hold. Okay. What is our aim to prove? X belongs to D of B. So we have started with X belongs to D of A, and we have to prove that X belongs to D of B. X is arbitrary element of D of A, and if we prove that arbitrary element belongs to that superset, then we can say that D of A is a subset of D of B. What do we mean by X belongs to D of A? If by definition we can say X is a limit point of A. बरोबर? So what is the definition of a limit point? For all open set G containing X, what is the condition for all the open set G? And now as we are considering for X, I will write the open set containing X as a Gx intersection with A minus singleton X is not equal to phi. Right? Just simply I am writing the definition. X belongs to D of E means what? X is a limit point of E. D of A means what? Set of limit point. If X is belonging to D of E means what? X is a limit of limit point. And by definition of a limit point, I can write the next step. Now, what do you mean by this set is not equal to phi? Which means that it belongs to some another element. Okay, it will have G of X intersection A minus singleton X. Okay, it contains one element phi. Non-empty चा meaning काय असतो? This whole set will contain one element, at least one element phi. Correct? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So phi belongs
Yes,
to
ma'am.
Gx intersection A. Now what do you mean by this one? I can write this as intersection with X complement. Now, what do you mean by having an intersection? It means that y is a member of Gx intersection A and y is a member of x complement, right? Okay, what do you mean by y is a member of Gx intersection A and y is member of x complement? What do you mean by this one? Just tell me, y is a member of x complement, singleton x complement. Y is a member of singleton x complement. It means that y is not equal to x, na? This is what a singleton x only one element set. Singleton x च्या कॉम्प्लिमेंट मध्ये असेल म्हणजे तुमचं जे काही x असेल कॅपिटल x मायनस सिंगलटन x that will be your whole set ना singleton x complement. Is it correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you should know these properties of complement. Y belongs to singleton x complement means y is not a equal to x. X सोडून कुठलाही एलिमेंट असेल तो कॅपिटल x मधला. Okay, so from this, what we have arrived, y belongs to g of x, y belongs to a, right? Now, as we know that, what we know that a is a subset of b. हे दिलेलं आहे ना आपल्याला, right? What do you mean by subset? Y belongs to if a. Here we have y belongs to a, na? If a is a subset of b, can I write directly as y belongs to b by definition of a subset?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hence I am writing y belongs to g of x and y belongs to b since a is a subset of b and y is not equal to x. What do you mean by this one? Okay, we have one open set which contains y as well as one set and y is not equal to x. So, may I write this as gx intersection b, right? What it tells you, y is a member of gx, y is a member of b, right? Minus, I can write this as minus singleton x is not equal to 5 because it tells us that y is a member of gx and y is a member of b. So x सोडून instead of x, these two have some another element y, right? Y is not equal to x. So that's why we can write with the help of this line that gx intersection b minus singleton x is not equal to 5. Are you getting the result?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, y is a member of these two sets and y is not equal to x, which means that gx मध्ये तर x असणार आहे obviously. Gx means what? G is an open set which contain x and it may contain some another elements also. So y is a member of gx, so that's why intersection of these two contains one more element other than x, which means that gx intersection b minus singleton x is not equal to 5, which implies the definition. Okay, which means that x belongs to d of b and hence the result. Okay, this we have to prove here, x belongs to d of e. So what we have started with, x belongs to d of a. Okay, we have started with x belongs to d of a and we have proved, what we have proved, x belongs to d of b. And hence we can say d of a is a subset of d of b and hence the result. Okay, what we have to do, we have to simply use the definition of a subset. We have to start with x belongs to d of a, use the definition of a limit point, use the definition of, after using the definition of a limit point or d of a, you have to simply use a property of a is a subset of b. If y is an element of a, obviously it is an element of b and hence the result. Okay. See, these whatever I am writing, whatever you will think that this is the easy step, but while writing yourself without looking, it will be very confusing for us. In which step which property I have to use, in which step complement property is there, in which step we have to use the definition of a limit point, and in which step I have to use a property of A is a subset of B. Okay, so try to write down all the notes at the same day whenever you are going to attend the lectures. At least once you should write down all the notes. Okay, let us go for the third property. What is the third property? X belongs to D of E. And we have to prove that X belongs to D of E minus singleton X. Okay, we have to prove that X is a member of derived set of capital E minus singleton. First, we have X is an element of D of E. Okay, what do you mean by X is an element of D of E? It means that X is a limit point of capital E. Bro. So now we have to prove that X is a limit point of E minus singleton X. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So now let us use the definition of a limit point. X is a limit point of E means what? For all open set G containing X, what we have the condition G intersection E. Okay. So the same thing I can write this as G intersection E intersection with complement of X is not equal to 5. Right. So now can you tell me what is intersection of X complement with X complement?
5.
You should see X complement intersection with X complement, just like A
X complement.
Okay, so that is simply X complement, right? So I am writing this. I can use this property here. This instead of writing simply X complement, I can write this as X complement intersection with X complement. You have to write down the reason like this. Okay. Now this I can write as G intersection here. Now as intersection is there everywhere, we can use the property. That is E minus singleton X. This X complement I have written as E minus singleton X. And this intersection I can write it as minus singleton X is not equal to 5. Barabar? Any doubt for this step? Because
No,
we know
ma'am.
that complement of X, we can write it as minus singleton X. And hence, by definition of limit point, what is the definition of a limit point? This is what the open set G which
Limit point of E minus X.
this is what the set itself. What is the definition? G intersection E minus singleton X. Hai na? So instead of E, we have this whole set. And hence, we can write X is a limit point of capital E minus singleton X. G ला सोडून जे काही set असेल, G intersection with any set, that any set will be a limit point of this small x. And hence the result. X is a limit point of E means what? X belongs to derived set of E minus singleton X. Okay? And hence the result. That is third property we have proved. What is the first property? D of phi is a phi. Second is A. If A is a subset of B, derived set of A is a subset of derived set of B. And next we have proved if X belongs to D of E, X is a member of D of E minus singleton X. That we have done with a very easy property. What is an easy property we have used? Singleton X complement, intersection of these two is a singleton X complement, and just we have used a intersection. So we are having intersection everywhere, so we can use this property that E minus singleton X in one set and G intersection in another set, and hence G intersection whatever may be the set, that set will be a limit point. X is a limit point of that set. Okay. If you are getting that this is so fast, so easy, so lengthy, or what type of a problem if you are facing, you can tell me. Okay, as I told you that it should not happen just like a paper of classical mechanics. Okay, so no doubt the paper of classical mechanics are not the paper of mathematics, but it is a paper of mathematics. You should have an interest as you are going to study MSc mathematics. Okay, some of the student having the problem for classical mechanics that it is a completely physics paper and all. Okay, so if you are facing any type of a problem about my teaching, about definition, madam definition explain करत नहीं कि मैं example घेत नहीं, whatever may be the problem, you can discuss with me so that this topology paper will go easily, right? Because the paper is very vast, I cannot repeat the anything. Okay, and up to end of July we have to complete the syllabus, seminar, internal, everything we have to complete in 2 months. So whenever you are going to face a problem, just tell me at that time itself so that we can resolve that problem. We cannot repeat this once again. Okay, let us go for the fourth property. We have to prove that derived set of A union B is equals to derived set of A union derived set of B. Okay, now if I want to prove two sets are equal to each other, that means if I want to prove A is equals to B, what I have to prove? A is subset of B, as well as I have to prove B is a subset of A. Then it implies that A is equals to B. Barabar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Both are subsets of each other. Okay, one way is easy. That means we can prove the first part easily, but to prove the second one is somewhat difficult. So that let us go one by one. So what I have to prove for proving this, that is to prove that we have to firstly prove that D of A union B is a subset of D of A union D of B. In another way, I have to prove that D of A union D of B is a subset of D of A union B. Correct? Okay, what is given to us? We have simply provided that we have to prove the result D of A union B is equal to D of A union D of B. But we can take the some things from that. Can I write A is a subset of A union B?
Yes, ma'am.
B is a subset of A union B by the property of a union itself. Right? A is a subset of A union B as well as B is a subset of A union B. Now the second property of a derived set. What is the second property of a derived set?
A is subset of B, then D of A is subset of D of B.
Okay, so we can use this property. You can write by second property, but don't write in the exam by second property. They don't know what is second property in your notebook. So you have to write down this. If A is a subset of B, derived set of A is a subset of derived set of B. And hence we can write derived set of A is contained in derived set of A union B, and we can write derived set of B is contained in derived set of A union B. Okay. Now, if I am saying that D of A is contained in D of A union B as well as D of B is contained in D of A union B, can I write from these two steps? I can combine these and I can write this as D of A union. Is it okay?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
one is a subset of this one
Yes,
is also subset. So I can combine these two. दोन्ही त्याचे subset आहेत ना. Suppose you can write singleton 1 is a subset of natural number. Singleton 2 is a subset of natural number. I can write singleton 1, 2. Union of these two is a subset of natural number. Right? So hence we can write this property by using the property. So that's why we have proved the first part. Right? So we have to prove simply the reverse part, that is D of A union B is a subset of D of A union D of B. Okay? So that's why I told you that the first part is easy. The second one is we have to prove. What is our aim to prove now? D of A union B is a subset of D of A union D of B. Right? So that's why I told you that it is somewhat difficult to prove because we have proved the first part. Now we have to prove the second part. Okay, if we want to prove this, we can, as we are not having any given thing or any assumptions and all, so that's why what we will do, we'll use one way. There are so many ways to prove the proof, right? Direct way, by having construction, by contradiction assumption, like this. So let us use the contradiction assumption that if, let us assume that if possible, okay, we will assume contradiction. Suppose, if possible, what will happen? X belongs to T of A union B, but X is not a member of T of A union D of B. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That means what I have written here, I have written that D of A union B is not a subset, right? Prove हे करायचं आहे, but what we have assumed, okay, let us assume if possible, there exists at least one element in D of A union B which is not an element of D of A union D of B. Which means that I am saying this one D of A union B is not a subset of D of A union D of B. True काय करायचं आपल्याला हे subset आहे, right? Okay. So what I can write from this one? Let us evaluate this one. But remember that we have a possibility of X belongs to D of A union B. Let me make a star for this so that we can use it later on. So let us evaluate this one. X does not belong to D of A. Okay. Now just tell me what do you mean by X does not belongs to the union of these two sets? Okay. If I am writing say X belongs to A union B, which means that X is a member of either A or B. But if I am saying that X is not a member of A union B, which means that X is not a member of A as well as X is not a member of B. If it is not a member of both the set, then only it will not be in the union. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if I am saying that X is a member of intersection, which means that X must be a member of both the set. But if I am saying that X is not a member of an intersection, okay, so here also we are having X is not a member of a union. It means that X is not a member of D of A as well as X is not a member of a D of B. Be clear with this union. Okay, if union is there and if belongs to expression is there, then we can say that either X is a member of D of A or X is a member of D of B. But if we are saying that X is not a member of union, it means that X is not a member of both the set. Okay. So now just we have to use a definition of not a limit point. Okay, X does not belongs to T of A means what? X is not a limit point of A as well as X is not a limit point of B. Okay, as we have assumed the contradiction, somewhere we are going to get a contradiction. Now I think you remember the definition of a limit point. Okay, what is the definition of a limit point? For all open set G containing X, there should satisfy the condition G intersection E minus singleton X is non-empty. But for not a limit point, what is the definition? I told you that for all will be converted to there exist, right? So not a limit point means what? I have to now use a definition of not a limit point, which means that there exists an open set G which contains the point X such that, what such that? G intersection A minus singleton X is empty set, and what is another possibility? There exists another open set H which contains a point X such that H intersection with B minus singleton X is empty set. Barobar? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Definition of a limit point. Let me name this equation 1 and 2. Simply we are using the definition of not a limit point. For not a limit point, for all will be converted to there exist. Okay. So from these two expression, we have to evaluate in such a way that we will get somewhere a contradiction. Okay, for that, let me define one another set because this will take some time to prove this one. Okay, what we will define? We will define one set. What is that set? K is equal to G intersection H, right? What is G? G is an open set which contains a point X, but it does not satisfy the condition of being a limit point. H is another set with B which does not satisfy condition of being a limit point. So let me write down this K intersection A union B. I can use the property. Which property I can use? Associative law K minus singleton X in one set intersection with A union B. Okay, so this one I can write K intersection with X complement intersection with A union B. Okay, why I am defining that K? You will understand later on that we have to use the equation 1 and 2. Okay, now let us evaluate this intersection. What we can evaluate is A intersection A intersection with X complement. This is one set union. This union we have to work, and then A intersection B intersection this X complement as it is. Right? Simply I have evaluated this intersection. This union will come here. Okay. Now I can write this as K intersection A minus singleton X in one set union K intersection B minus singleton X in another set. But what is this set? Any open set intersection with A minus singleton X from equation 1 and 2. What is equation 1 tells us that G intersection A minus singleton is empty, H intersection B minus singleton X is empty. What is your K? K is G intersection H. Okay. What is your K? It is nothing but G intersection H. This is nothing but G intersection H. So I can write from equation 1 and 2. What the equation 1 and 2 tells you that intersection of G with open set G with A minus singleton X is empty, as well as open set H intersection with B is minus singleton X is empty set. So can I write these two sets are empty set? K is nothing but G intersection.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I can write this as empty set union empty set, right? So which means that what I mean K intersection A union B minus singleton X, I am getting this as an empty set, right? Because we have started with this now. Okay, we have proved this to be an empty set. Okay, just now we have proved this to be an empty set. So what do you mean by this is equal to empty set? What is your K? K is nothing but G intersection H. Intersection G and H both are open sets, belongs to TOE. Their intersection is also open set. That means K is also member of TOE, right? So K is an open set, intersection with the set minus the point equal to empty set, which means that X is not a limit point of A union B. करते हैं?
Yes, ma'am.
K का है open set है. Why this is open set? Because G and H both are open set. By property of open set, intersection of finite number of open set is open set. So G and H are open set. Their intersection is also open set. So open set intersection with one set. Okay, this is what the definition. G open set intersection with E minus singleton X if it is equal to empty set. Then we say that X is not a limit point. If it is not equal to empty, X is a limit point. G ला सोडून इथे काय आहे? K आहे. A union B च्या जागी इथे E आहे. So hence we can say X is not a limit point of A union B. But if you remember the star statement, we have written what we have written.
X is limit point of
X belongs to D of A union B. So you can write here by star statement X is limit point of A union B. So X limit point असू शकतो, X is not a limit point. Both possibility not possible ना. कुठलं तरी एक statement true असेल. So that's why we can say that there is a contradiction, and this contradiction arises due to the wrong assumption that what was our wrong assumption? We have considered
X is not limit point of
we have considered हे subset prove करायचा होता ना, X belongs to D of A union B, and this not a limit point will be a wrong assumption. There should be have X belongs to D of A union D of B, and hence the result. Okay, so this has, arises due to the wrong assumption and hence the result. Okay. See, these are very basic points that we are covering here, closed set, dense set and all, and actual topology paper will start after few days when we start our separation exams. So how to prove the two sets to be equal? We have to prove both are subsets of each other. For first one, it is easy. For second one, to prove second one, it is somewhat difficult. So that's why we have assumed the contradiction. After assuming the contradiction, we have to prove the equation 1 and 2, use the star equation, define another set in such a way that we can have the result that X is not a limit point. So we will get two statements. X is not a limit point, as well as we get the X is a limit point of A union B. So this, out of these two statements, at least one statement will be possible, and this contradiction arises due to the wrong assumption, and hence we can say that D of A union B is equals to D of A union D of B. And now this result I can extend up to finite number of terms, that is D of A union B we have written as D of A union D of B. Now I can extend this result for D of union I runs from 1 to n, AI is equals to union of I runs from 1 to n, D of AI. That is, this result of union will be true for some of the finite number of sets. Okay. Now let us prove the sixth property. What is the property? D of A intersection B is a subset of D of A intersection with D of B. Okay. B, remember this properties. D of A intersection union साठी equality है, intersection साठी subset है. D of A intersection B is a subset of D of A union, D of A intersection with D of B. Okay, this one is easy to prove. What we have, A intersection B is a subset of A. Is it okay? बरोबर लिहिलेत का मी?
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me the reason why it is correct.
Because whatever in intersection it is in A na.
इंटरसेक्शन मध्ये काय घेतो आपण कॉमन एलिमेंट and hence we can say that A intersection B will be a subset of A and A intersection B is a subset of B. By the second property, what the second property tells us that if A is a subset of B, derived set of A is a subset of derived set of B. By this property, I can write D of A intersection B is a subset of D of A, as well as I can write D of A intersection B is a subset of D of B. Hence, from both the things, I can write this as, if this is a subset of this set and this is a subset of this another set, so I can write this as a, it will be a member of a intersection. Right now? If this is subset of both the set, that means it will obviously come in the intersection.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So by property of a intersection. Okay, if say singleton 1 is a subset of set of integer as well as singleton 1 is a subset of natural number. So singleton 1 will be a subset of natural number as well as set of integer. And hence we can write D of A intersection B is a member of D of A as well as it is a member of D of B. So obviously it will come in the intersection of both and hence the result. Okay, in the next lecture we will go for the properties of the closed set, definition of a closed set. Okay. So whatever I am doing here, you have to do this for all the things which we have seen in the real analysis, right? Real analysis मध्ये पण असे example solve करू शकतो ना limit point चे. Whatever the example we have solved about the limit points in the topological space. Right, so these type of example you can solve for the real analysis also. Take any subset of real line and try to find out how to find out the limit points. Okay, just like in the last lecture I have shown you the set of the limit points of the integer is empty set. You have to do for any open interval also how to find out the limit points and all. In the next lecture we will go over the definition of a closed set and some properties of the closed set. Okay. So at least if you want to remember these properties, one hint I will give you, take up one big drawing paper in which write every properties. Okay, property का proof नहीं लिखना है आपको, सिर्फ properties remember करने के लिए लिखना है. Okay, subset के लिए क्या property है, union के लिए क्या properties है, closed set की क्या properties है, एक single page पे लिखो so that कंपैरिजन इज इजी नो. जब आप कंपेयर करके स्टडी करते हो तो आपको इजीली रिमेम्बर होता है बिकॉज इफ यू स्टार्ट विथ द टोपोलॉजिकल स्पेस एंड इफ यू कम टू अवर द लास्ट टॉपिक दैट इज लिंडेलॉफ एंड ऑल, you will not remember the starting property. So have a comparison between the study so that you can understand easily that which point कौन सी property union के लिए, कौन सी property intersection के लिए. Like just now we have proved the result. For union it is equality, for अगर intersection लेंगे तो वो subset relation है. And these type of all the relation we will see now for the closed set. Then we will see this for boundary points, and then we will see for it exterior point, interior point, boundary points, and many properties we are going to see about this closed set, dense set, boundary points, exterior point, interior point. Okay, interior of the set, exterior of the set. So try to write down all the properties in a single page so that you can have a comparison. 2-3 घंटे का स्टडी करने से अच्छा है कि आप एक सिंगल पेज पे लिख लो, वो सारी प्रॉपर्टीज इजीली रिमेम्बर हो जाएंगी. राइट ना?
Yes, ma'am.
See, I am telling this you because I have used this method to have a study of a topological space, because this paper is very vast, and if you start with the first page and if you come to the end of this unit, that means suppose if you come to the end of Lindelof space, फर्स्ट एग्जाम स्पेस, FASSS, जब वो आपको उसके प्रॉपर्टी याद रहेंगे बट आपने स्टार्टिंग में क्या प्रॉपर्टीज लिखे, क्लोज सेट के क्या प्रॉपर्टीज है, इंटरसेक्शन में क्या होता है, यूनियन में क्या होता है, इक्वालिटी कहाँ पे है, सबसेट रिलेशन कहाँ पे है, सो यू विल नॉट रिमेम्बर एनीथिंग. ओके, मे बी द एक्सेप्शनल केसेस विल बी देयर, किसी someone may have a sharp IQ, they can remember. But I'm telling it for general that those study we can do by comparison itself. Okay. So let me end the lecture. Thank you. We'll see in the next lecture the closed set.